Hello everybody, this is Gabriel. This is the beginning of March. Today is the 3rd of March, Tuesday. And let's have a look at the top-down analysis of the higher time frames here in the Forex market. Let's start with the euro-dollar. So the euro-dollar here on the monthly chart is an overall downtrend. And as you might remember, I referred to that several times. We're basically in a non-volatile a downtrend since we've touched here the upper channel. So overall we are down, but we haven't yet developed some momentum on the downside, and I'm looking for momentum like this, some really nice and big red bars to reach the par level, the par level euro dollar, and as well to reach the lower side of this sideways channel. I actually thought that this happens with this breakout we've seen here last week. You might have watched my free webinar where I've referred in detail to this trade pyramid I've been taken. So I traded basically here on the daily chart. I traded the last 2 weeks. From here, from 110 down to 1.08, I've taken like 6 or 7 trades. I've built a pyramid, and well, overall we've got an S1 pattern that's triggered, and price has broken the low of this pattern. So this is the low, and some stop run levels were triggered obviously, and we've got some run. Well, I was expecting this going lower, but we were actually hitting and pushing against a big number, the 108. You can see down here. So we are pushing against the big number, and price was not strong enough to actually go lower, and we see this rejection. Well, the coronavirus plays a role here as well. During the last 2 weeks, I'm not quite sure why the impact is that the euro gets stronger than the dollar. I just think that there was a lot of money in US equities as well from Europe. And whenever there's an increased fear, well, there's some the funds get repatriated to the home country, and this is what might have happened here. That we see selling of US equities like stocks, etc., and that money gets repatriated. So investors need to exchange into euros again, and this might drive the value and the price of the euro higher. Like in the overall perspective here on the weekly chart, well, nothing much has happened. We've seen this nice down move, which I thought would continue, but now we're just in a pullback mode. Well, the pullback is pretty strong, right? Well, it's even stronger than the move down, this up move. And but what happens, we're only testing this level. Well, that's the S1 level. That is very important. We've got a touch of this, and we might see now whether price turns around. So typically that's what happened, because this is a very important psychological level. So at this time we didn't get this increase in volatility and follow through on the downside. So we might see whether the next months are bringing us, and I believe there are great opportunities trading the euro dollar short. So this is the euro Swiss. Always interesting to observe what it's doing. So during the last week we barely see an impact. So Corona didn't have an impact here on euro and Swiss, right? What we clearly see here on the monthly is the pure peg level. While the Swiss got unpegged from the euro, the pegged level was at 120. Sorry, that happened here, the unpack. And after the unpack, price just came back to test this peg level. It's a psychological, very important level, right? A lot of people have burned their fingers because they've been caught on the wrong foot, including the Swiss central bank. So that's an important psychological level. We got a near touch here, and then since then prices are falling apart. So that was a pullback, and we are in an overall strong downtrend, and I'm seeing the par level coming up soon. So it's always an interesting pair to trade short here, the euro Swiss. So that's another very interesting pair to look at, the odd US dollar. So the US dollar is one of the strongest pairs, and the Australian dollar one of the weakest, right? And we can clearly and nicely see it here, like on the monthly chart. Like for many years, we're actually in a downtrend, meaning that the US dollar gets stronger and stronger. We had an S1 pattern here that triggered, and made its stop run, and we are kind of starting to accelerate here. That's what I'm waiting for because the 06, it's a big number, and a very important price level acts as a magnet now, and price should get drawn towards this level. With the closer it gets, the stronger the magnet effect. So here's the US Swiss. So both are very strong currencies, the US dollar and the Swissy. And we can see here, like on the weekly, how the Swissy has been slightly stronger, like during the last year than the US dollar. Oh, they're basically balanced, right? Over a couple of years, if we look here on the monthly, they're basically balanced. But over the last year, the US Swiss has become stronger. And that's an S1 pattern here on the monthly chart. And it looks like it's going to trigger. Well, if it does, then we're seeing much lower prices, which means that the Swiss is going to get even stronger against the US dollar. So overall, the US dollar is going to get stronger against most other cross pairs, but it doesn't seem to be the case against the Swiss franc. So the last week, that's the Corona impact as well. Well, we see a strengthening of the Swiss. And well, Switzerland is always a safe haven, and its currency is a safe haven currency. And we might see a continuation. And if it starts to trigger this pattern, well, then we'll see much lower prices, as we've seen in the past 20 years too. So that's just a consolidation here. That's a trend following consolidation in the overall downtrend. And the longer the consolidation takes to actually start to run, the stronger the move, the trend move will be that comes out of such a long consolidation. Let's have a look here at the Australian dollar, the weakest currency against the yen. So clearly here as well, we are in a beginning downtrend. And it has broken, like price has broken two very important levels here with these circles, and it has been an important level before. We've got many price touches, so that's a sideways consolidation too. And this sideways, like this price support level has been broken just recently with these last 2 weeks. And I'm expecting here to see some momentum to develop on the downside, and it looks like a great chart to trade, even on a lower time frame. Whenever you get a very low risk entry, well, you can actually trade the monthly chart towards this lower price level. So I'm having an eye on that definitely. Let's have a look at two more currencies. This is the Australian dollar against the Swissy, so a very weak currency combined with a very strong. Well, clearly we see here a downtrend after this consolidation. Price has just left this consolidation. It has made a new low since the last 1 or 2 months, and this should actually develop some downside momentum. Similar to what we've seen here. So this is the momentum move. A 2-leg momentum move. That's a sideways consolidation. Now we've just started another momentum move lower, which is most probably a 2-leg 2. So it's a great chart to trade a short 2 here. So the last one here, CAD Swiss. It's kind of a specialty situation. Well, we've got the Swiss here as well, very strong currency. And the CAD is strong too, otherwise they wouldn't be here kind of balanced during the last couple of months. So we see here again, we see a very long and thin consolidation that looks like it's going to break on the lower side. And that's what I've referred to during the last monthly top-down analysis. And this is the line from the last month. I was expecting a pullback to the moving averages. Well, this is what we got right here on the weekly chart, and then it should start to run, right? And that's what we are seeing right now. The first level gets broken. We haven't seen yet a stop run level. That's not a strong enough reaction, but we've got all those levels clustered. One after the other, and once it starts run, well, we might see a big move lower. That's what I'm expecting. So as of this bar formation, I was actually hoping or expecting that we are leaving this sideways formation. So there's a huge move on the downside to expect it. Price is very contracted in volatility, and we can expect a volatility expansion. And whenever we have such a situation here on the monthly chart, well, you get great low risk trading opportunities if you get a pattern like a 1, 2 or system 3 pattern on the lower time frame, be it the 240-minute chart, 60, 50 and 5, or even the 1 minute. All of those time frames, if you trade those, well, these trades can be swing traded because you're basically trading as well the monthly chart, respectively the stop run through those levels on the weekly chart. So interesting times ahead. We'll see whether we get some momentum developing from here. Thank you.